Sharp right now is a huge question mark for GGEA because we got to see all season long why he was picked up. Even at 16 years old, he is such a strong tracer. He is such a strong hit scan player. Not running him seems like a huge mistake, but I mean, at this point, it seems more like they're just not able to run him.
All right, well, let's see if GGEA will be able to take themselves a map.
Ah, that's right. We've gone to Volskaya and haven't sold out about what a wonderful city it is with a very well-protected area, just brought up by these robots. These robots are the future.
I'm just saying, when you get your own robot shotgun, I'm going to be right there with you. All right? I am like the perfect wingman in the car, you know? I've got my Google Maps open for you, everything. I've got you set.
Well, good, because you also have to fire the missiles.
That's
yeah. That's how shotgun
You didn't
works
mention missiles.
robots.
You did not mention missiles. I am down for this. Speaking of missiles, no missiles on the field. We're not going to see any Pharos, maybe into point B. The Legion, for their defense, they're going to go with this composition that they ran on Oasis, where they opened up on City Center. They've got a Lucio in play, but this is dangerous because, of course, Keller's going to be on that Widowmaker. So if he gets a pickoff, that's no res.
Yep, and also for GGA, they're, again, running with this composition where it is a single support setup where they're saying, okay, Ponzer, we don't have to put you on support. We're just going to be our token hog. And oh, by the way, Legion, it was a surprise, it was a trap, but they don't get any pickoff as a result. And now GGA has a golden opportunity where the Legion is a bit out of position.
Gods, with the wave play there, was able to dodge all those arrows coming out from Fisher. That's actually 200 IQ. Jump comes in from Panker. He's into the back line, not taking much damage at all. With the help of Gods, they take off Ponzer.
Yeah, they isolate Ponzer, and hey, for Gods, that was a set DPI to 10,000 moment as you quickly try to evade. And, well, should have put the DPI a little bit higher that time. Keller takes him down. Now they don't have a diva for the defense. Fisher's working the left flank. Keller on the right. The double sniper engage of GGA going to work quite well here and should be giving them the point. Legion, they've just suffered way too much damage.
Yeah, this was a huge gamble being run by the Legion here. Going without the Mercy on the first points because, well, they got spotted out, and all it took was just a sonic arrow out from Fisher, and all of a sudden their plans were ruined, their entire defense was ruined, and they had to scramble to try and come up with something else here. And without the Mercy, you need the res. You get a pick off, you get something picked off, you need to res them back into this. So now moving into the next fight, that means Pooks, he's going to be at a huge disadvantage up against Aid.
Not only that, where, of course, Aid is going to be coming in with the Valkyrie. Fisher can split everyone apart. The Dragon Strike. GGA has a well and true window here where they're going to open the recon site. That gives Fisher more intel. He goes, yeah, I'm going to shoot a Dragon over here. I think this is going to work out pretty well. No pickoffs here just yet, but finally gets Panker on the other side. The rest of the team getting in on that. So the big part of Legion is out of it, but Blase, out of nowhere, greets Fisher. They're able to res Panker. There's Fisher on the other side, self-destruct up into the air from Vol, looking to make room. And GGEA, are they going to get that first tick? They do get the first tick. But Legion, they're doing pretty well at defending on the outskirts here. It hasn't been decisive here just yet, but they haven't gotten that one kill they need to start actually evicting GGA from the point.
Pooks does go down, but they have the Transcendence to cover Panker going in with the Primal Rage now. That's going to allow Corey to come back in with this Hanzo, with the Storm Arrows, taking out the Ponzer, and Pooks might have to just wait for the rest of his team now as they go in with the Tire.
Tire out and on the way. Meanwhile, Keller working the back. It's up to Blase to buy some breathing room for the defense. Doesn't do it. The Tire's gone. And GGA might be putting the Legion in check right now, where they're going to be able to engage on the point with more people here. They have everyone back up. Keller laying there from the back, not able to take down Pooks here just yet. Gonna get a second shot at it. Holding here, if he could clip her wings, that would be huge. Can't find the head. Meanwhile, the self-destruct on the other end doesn't connect. And Legion, with that one pickoff, they're on their way to doing well here, but it is back and forth.
Yeah, this is still the same first fight on point B. It's just been extended out. But it looks like GGEA will just go ahead and give up the ghost and back away as Blase is able to chase down Smurf. But with Panker finding that kill onto Vol, GGEA has to go for a hard reset here.
Yeah, finally they do back out, where I think they got that pickoff towards the end. They're like, wait, maybe it's like, no. Reset, it's done.
Yeah, they wasted like about an additional minute there, but you know, given their time bank, it didn't hurt. Ultimately, they were able to walk away with at least one check there on the points, but now coming into this next fight, they kind of just used up a lot of their reserves, right? Oh, Keller with a great shot onto Rolf.
Yeah, Pooks is going to be able to res that back up, so it's not a full 6-on-5, but the res is out. Means anything else is going to be permanent. Now we'll see what they can get here. Vol with another self-destruct actually gets Panker. Panker was ferried into it, and GGEA once more working with a 2-man advantage. Blase evens out a little bit, but that's gonna be rezzed here as GGA is gonna have a full 6 men on the point, and that's it. Vol, that was like his 4th self-destruct at that point. He was getting self-destruct after self-destruct. Well played by him.
Yeah, and it was just the tempo that GGEA were playing at, that Vol, because they were able to snowball their way onto the point, didn't have to play as defensive. Consistently, we had, of course, Gladiators Legion coming onto the point, really scattered at times, so Vol was just able to play a very aggressive diva, and that's why he was building up, of course, those self-destructs. That last one onto Panker was set up from Smurf. He was able to actually halt him back into it during the middle of his jump, and so that set it up perfectly, getting rid of the main tank there on the defense.
One thing that kind of throws me for a loop here is the entire GGA is still running with only 1 support, and it looks like they're going to be doing that on the defense as well, where I don't know how much of this is they think it's good and how much of it is, well, we don't have Gray right now, so we might as well put Ponzer and Hog. Like, it worked. It certainly worked for that first fight, where it's a little bit weird given how strong Zen is. But it seems like for now, they're just going to stick with the setup that does not involve Ponzer and Zen.
Yeah, there was sort of like a net benefit in running that solo support Mercy. When GGEA made their approach onto point B in their first fight, Aid started it off with the Valkyrie. Pooks had just swapped off. And so throughout the duration of the Valkyrie, and then the cooldown of it, Aid was able to match Pooks for his first Valkyrie also. So it's pretty nuts how much Aid is able to just gain from heals and keep his team topped off with that. And so now coming into this next fight, Legion are going to go for that Lucio Zen composition once again. This time no Brigitte, but they do have a lot of damage. Blase currently sitting on the Junkrat. We don't really get to see that much Junkrat on the offense anymore.
Not going to see it this time either, as Blase goes. Actually, it's going to be Hanzo. And, I mean, one thing I'd like to see Legion do here is that just kill Aid. Like, look, if you take down Aid, there's no healing. It is a big Achilles heel, and it's a testament to how good Aid is to shake the pressure. But all it takes is 1 good arrow, 1 good tracer flank. You get Aid out of the equation, and GGA cannot hold.
Yeah, Corey, Panker, Gods, if all 3 of them can just land on top of him, no longer, as the Legion are just going to go ahead and swap off. They're going to go with Gods on Zarya and Panker on the Reinhardt now, so they're just going to try and set up the Wombo combo.
All right, Legion taking some time where this readjustment has cost them about 40 seconds, so it does not come without a penalty. But now we'll see if the setup works a little bit better for them as they look to brute force their way in from the bottom.
Corey has to be careful. He almost gets tagged by Keller there as he makes his way on in. But the halt, the hook, and the damage coming out from Smurf is able to get rid of Panker. And so it's another reset coming out from the Legion, and they're already down a minute.
Keller just neutralizes Corey as well. That was an open shot. Corey might have been able to go the other way, and Keller says, nope, I'm going to take this. So Keller continuing the surprise on Widow here so far and checking Corey.
Now, this is one of the strengths of running the...
Oh no! How can you do that? You can't even res that! Oh no!
I didn't even have to have the time to actually get the words out of my mouth before the caster curse actually struck there.
Well, Keller's worst enemy was himself, where only Keller can eliminate Keller, as it turns out. GGEA working at a huge disadvantage now. The Legion, they were watching the kill feed. They saw exactly what happened. Blase gonna lead this Dragon into a very tiny area, set up by the grab. Goodbye and good night. The Legion punish the mistake of GGEA and take point A. And oh man, Keller is not gonna like that one in the morning.
Yeah, there are mistakes and then there are blunders. That is a blunder coming out from, because it did cost them. It cost them point A. They had a great defense so far. They were controlling everything. Just moments before that happened, a split second before that happened, I was gonna say about how strong a defensive Widowmaker here is on point A. But now we have to move on to point B.
And I also just wonder how much that shakes Keller's confidence here, where...
Oh, you tilted. You tilted.
I mean, some of them are just like, it's a game's fall. I don't know, but Keller just lost to Corey. He was checking Corey before this point. Now it's a 6-on-5, up until the point where they can res Keller. Now, Gods ends up falling here. Keller's going to get brought back up, but here comes Panker. Hammer loaded and at the ready. eating a lot of damage onto his shield, doesn't like what he sees, ends up backing out. Keller finishes off Blase, and not quite the push for the Legion.
Yeah, he just didn't want to try and go for it at all, especially if a Zarya isn't there. You know, anytime a Reinhardt has to drop his shield, he needs something to back him up. He needs at least the barrier coming up from Gods. But without that, he just did not feel comfortable at all trying to use that Earth Shatter. Remember, you press Q, even if the animation doesn't go off, it's gone. So he's going to hold on to that for now.
The Legion fully resetting, and I don't really like how much time the Legion have used in these resets, where it's a lot of time without a fight, and I don't know if they've gotten max benefit. I get that they're adjusting stuff, but they basically just gave GGA a fight for free.
And they're waiting for Keller to jump off the map again.
Reasonable strategy with how this has gone on so far. But
now,
here we go, getting into the fight, Blase moving on in, and GGA, they're just gonna hold still here. They use the supercharger, and Legion's just like, don't think we want to fight into that, so they're gonna back out again.
And that's smart, coming out from both sides, right? GGEA, Smurf, he uses the supercharger so that Keller and Fisher can get more of their ultimate charge. They're so close to it, and Legion just kind of wait from it instead of running into that Earth Shatter. It comes out, it connects only onto the one, but they can't follow up.
Panker says, let me back in there, knocked back in, gonna walk his way back on in. GGA still contesting the point all the while. They're getting poked down, but Fisher, the dragon from the back, gonna eat two. Panker and Gods are out of there. There's no more front line for the Legion, and that means they need to back out, and they do.
That was just beautiful coverage coming out from GGEA. The Earth Shatter comes out and Vol just instantly goes for the self-destruct. He says, you're not going to be able to punish this because, well, you have to hold up your shield at the very least. And so that keeps alive, I believe it was Smurf that got caught by it. So now, the Legion not going to be able to beat the time of GGEA as they are now left with 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Half their time allotted is gone. But now we look towards Gods, where it's actually tricky at times to land a good Graviton Surge that wins the point here on this map. Despite it being Zarya's home ground, here's Keller. Tire could derail everything, and Gods, if you're holding on to that Graviton, you might want to hold on a little bit longer, see if anyone gets hit. But no, Blase punctures the tire from the other end. And now, the Dragon Strike Grav combo is ready.
They've also got the Coalescence if they need any extra damage to try and finish that off here. So there are a lot of different ways that they can combo this. They don't even have to throw that Dragon Strike into it. They will, though, as all three ultimates fired into that position here in the back line. Blase still dealing with the hog in the back.
There's no more healing. Aid got caught in it. That's all they had to do is grab the Mercy, and the healing goes to the wayside. It's a clean sweep coming in for the Legion, and now they can just roll onto the point. No one's left to actually heal up GGEA. That Dragon, more bark than actual bite. And now the Legion just need a few more pickoffs as Blase is in a wonderland right now. And it looks like we're gonna be heading to some extra rounds.
So the Legion might not have as much time as GGEA on their next offensive. It's a little bit worrying that they're actually down to 2.5 minutes. We didn't get to see how strong their point A offense might have actually been because it was really up to a blunder coming up from Keller that allowed Gladiators Legion to take point A. But with the pace that they were going at, I don't think 2.5 minutes will be enough for them.
Probably not. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, we get to see the GGA defense again, and Keller will probably be a little bit more careful when treading near thin ice. But one thing I think that's worth noting for the Legion here, especially when they're running Zarya comps, is that normally for a Zarya, you're just kind of like, okay, let's try and get in 3 people with the Grav. I actually think they could only grab Aid and have it be worthwhile, because so long as you kill Aid, there's no support left, and you're probably going to be able to take that fight. And you kind of saw what happened there, where you catch Aid in the Graviton, you take him down, and then GGA just crumbles, because that is the inherent weakness of this one support composition.
Honestly, I am always happy if I can catch a Mercy in a Graviton Surge. It's become so much more difficult since her rework, especially like her Moth form. She just takes to the skies and she's able to zone out, and she's got that insanely long distance at which she can heal with that. Gladiators Legion now on the offensive end. It looks like they are going to go quasi-goats. There we go. All the swap-offs coming out. So it is going to be full goats comp coming out for them. The 3-0-3 with the Rhine, Zarya, and Diva, Orisa, Brigitte, and the Moira.
Meanwhile, you're going to have double sniper on the defense, where the goal, of course, looking for pickoffs, especially in the Brigitte or Moira. If you could get them, either of them going down usually spells the end of the push. And Legion just gonna try and play corners, try to avoid. The halt's already gone, but now they dive on in. They take down Smurf immediately, and the dive working out much better for the Legion this time, as so far GGA unable to get pickoffs with either of their snipers, and now they gotta contest the point. They have to deal with this ball of people that are there.
Nice.
And Gods take a swim.
That is huge. Gods was so high charged. If he survived that fight, he could have turned this around himself. And so now he is out of there, and GGEA are able to fight back into this. Panker falls, and somehow, for some reason, the Legion are not resetting. They are just giving their lives on over.
Well, now I think they're in full reset mode as Rolf goes, hey, that ice bath looked pretty rejuvenating. Let me join you. Everyone basically heading on in. Tribute to Keller from the first round, actually.
I mean, honestly, a cold bath, a cold shower could have been a good wake-up call for him, as that was one of the contributing factors to really shutting down this push. Even though the tank-heavy lineup of Legion were able to jump onto them, that leaves the backline vulnerable. That's what Keller was able to take advantage of. And
look, Keller is still playing really well here. A lot of people would be shook by what happened, but here's the Dragon early on. Legion gonna kind of power on through from the Moira. Wolf gonna engage the Coalescence here as the Legion just try and go straight up the gut. Hook in onto Corey, but he's not too phased right now. 600 HP, gets on out. GGA is still looking for that all-important first pick, which can really snowball against a GOAT-style composition. Corey gonna get demeched here, but getting right back in after using his ult. Panker just holding at 85%, waiting for a chance to drop the Earth Shatter, but GGA's been doing really well at holding them back, but now he gets into the fray, has the hammer, gets stunned, holding on, drops it, and Ponzer's out of there.
Yeah, they are able to get the D-Mac here, but will they be able to finish off full? He drops on low. Slowly they're encroaching on to the back line of GGEA. Even the Fortify isn't enough to keep Smurf up as he falls. Gods, he's got the full shield coming out from Blase, so they'll be able to carry that on over with most of their characters. Rolf has the extra 100, maybe 50 armor onto him coming into this next fight.
So for the Legion, it's all about the music. Share the music, get directly onto the point. They don't have much else. They have to burn a lot to take that point.
They will have the Coalescence, and that's important to really try and keep this tank line supported. If he throws out the Biotic Orb along with the Coalescence, it is so much healing coming out from them. But will Fisher be able to staunch that with that Dragon Strike?
Well, they open up here, they drop the beat. Fisher drops the Dragon the other way, and Panker's already down, focus down. Doesn't matter if he was feeling the music or not. Self-destruct, gonna come out here from Vol, and the Legion, the last gasp that they have here, falling on deaf ears. GGA gonna hold here in point B, and they've set up a wonderful win condition as we head into the final round.
Yeah, they will have 4 minutes if they take point A. Of course, it's 4.5 minutes to try and win this round. But Gladiators Legion would be happy with even a draw at this point, because that would mean the series win for them.
Yep, and I mean, heading into that, there is a world where they get that, where they defend on point A for a while and then point B doesn't have to go too long. But the problem is that defending point B from a third is very different than defending point B from everything, because you have to change your style, where you have to be a lot more aware of people just hopping onto a point, where normally if you give up a third, it's not really the end of the world so long as you win the fight and things are going your way. But when a third is literally the victory condition, it means that actually defending less than a third is even harder than it would be without that in the back of your head.
I mean, we've seen people be able to back cap a third before a team even notices what's going on. So yeah, you have to be constantly aware of that threats. Right now, Gladiators Legion on their defense, they're not going to go for anything gambly at all. They're not going to go for that the corner where they have the Brigitte, they've got Pooks on the Lucio. They're just going to play the standard here, and you know, they should, because they have an opportunity to just win this outright by getting a draw.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing that they really have to watch out for here, where I think GGA is really abusing the fact that Panker tends to be more aggressive and gets away with it, because what we've been seeing every time is that Smurf goes, here's a halt, and then Ponzer's right there to either hook in Panker or just outright damage him down. So a key here is that Gods needs to save his shields for Panker and save Panker when he gets in a sticky situation.
The halt hook combo all day long has been very, ooh, good. Keller dropped down to 5 HP, takes 2 body shots there, but he somehow survives.
Hey, 5 HP still does 100% DPS, the old StarCraft Marine rule, if you want to call it that. So, well, that's a dead Hanzo early on. Corey picks him off, and suddenly, again, you see the Legion decide to go a little bit further out, and with GG8 being down 2, it's leading to a reset.
That was an odd resurrection angle, but he was able to get it off. But still, they are going to be pushed back now. GGEA with the full reset. They're going to be down to 3 minutes and 10 seconds before they make their next approach. Keller takes to the skies once again with that Widowmaker, but it's Corey on the other side, taking out Fisher once again.
Corey's been great on this anti-sniper duty where he got Corey, he's got Keller, he's gotten Fisher, and so long as he can stay uncontested back here while Panker makes space, it's going to be very good for him.
And that's the strength, I get to finally say this, of the defensive Widowmaker. She gets to change up her angles so much, while the offensive Widowmaker basically has to come just from this choke point.
Meanwhile, we'll say also on a sniper right now in Hanzo, where, again, it's double sniper pressure from the defense, not too crazy, and GGA might be the ones to go straight up the gut here, going directly on in. Aid going to use the Valkyrie, where, remember, if you take down Aid here, you win the fight. Aid, #1 priority here for the Legion, but he's been very evasive the entire time. Meanwhile, take a look towards Panker here, holding here, waiting for him to turn the corner because he's about to get the Earth Shatter up that could turn the course of that fight. Fair? Gonna open up the Dragon Strike. Dragon Strike gonna be splitting GGA, but GGA, they just move in. They punish Panker before he can get the Earth Shatter out. Now it's gonna be up to Gods to try and Graviton, but his team is losing people left, right, and center as Aid avoids Blase all the while.
Corey picks up 2. That's the 3rd as Smurf falls, and with the aid of Rolf, they will turn the tides of this battle, which is going heavily in favor of GG Esports, and what looked like a one-team fight. Gladiators, Legion are somehow kept in this.
Well, they needed the grab, but they needed Corey's contribution even more. Talk about a fight where it's like, it's a slow burn, we can guess what's happening, and now we might be heading to a draw, which would be a victory for the Legion.
Now, coming into this next fight, though, there are some really great combos coming out from GG Esports, right? They're going to have a supercharger, so they can try to funnel Legion into a tight corridor and use that Dragon Strike with the supercharger, with the damage boost coming up from Aid if he can keep his head on. But no, Corey and Blase will shut down this push just like that.
I feel like Corey might be the best Widowmaker at just making really flashy, no retreat, no quarter situations where it's like, I just want to go back to spawn, man. Corey's like, I can help you with that.
Now, if they stay in spawn for too long, they might actually lose this map, giving Gladiators Legion that 3-0 victory over GGEA, and they've got a lot of tools to use themselves now. Gods might not have the Graviton Surge, but Blase and Corey are doing plenty of damage. They don't need it set up.
Well, they have to use the res immediately. That's not going to be an Aid's tool belt where he's going to open up the Valkyrie here immediately. Blase goes, I got Dragon for that. Drops Dragon in, picks off Fisher. 2 already down. However, back the other way. Blase and Panker out of the fight. So both teams down their main tank. Now let's see what it's between Corey and Keller here. Corey on the other side, holding on. Gods being the rock for the Legion, preventing progress on the point. GGA being a little bit hesitant to dive on deep. Pones are almost getting picked off in a rough shape and gets melted down by Gods. Went to ham, and respawns for the Legion are about to be here.
And he's about to have a Graviton for this final fight. He's 7% away. Once he gets his next shield up, he's going to charge on to the point with that. It's going to set up Corey along with Blase for this. Graviton Surge comes out, but do they have the damage for it?
I think the Graviton got in, and I don't see where the Graviton is, so Graviton no longer there. GGEA still in this courtesy of Vol. Corey on the back, looking for the pickoff, is trying to get Aid, unable to get him. Panker brought back to the fray. Legion fighting their way back on in, and with Aid falling, there's no one to heal GGEA. The Legion looking to be well on their way to holding point A. They do. They take the map and the series.
Wow, what a defense coming out from the Legion there. 4-minute hold on point A.
Would you really just say this was the Corey show? Because my God, that was just phenomenal gameplay.
Definitely in the house, yes.
I knew you were going to make that joke. I knew it.
I've been waiting for it. I've held on to that. I've, you know, bit my tongue for quite some time.
This is the time to use it. Yeah.
Corey just felt like it was one of those like most popular baby names in the 80s, which is why the 90s is like Corey this, Corey that. Well, Corey had a good run of it there, and I mean, credit where credit's due. Keller was checking him for a long time, but unfortunately, Keller's magic ran out here on this attack where Corey was just having a run of it. And once you get Aid in any of these pushes, that's it for GGA's comp.
Yeah, Keller was on fire until he got it drained from him from the icy depths of Volskaya there. He just did not seem like the same man after he took his quick bath.
Hey, they can be rejuvenating. say that.
I feel like for all these maps we've been seeing, GGEA just keeps having the victory ripped away from them. It's not like it's a crushing defeat. Like, they have a chance. What's the problem here?
I mean, the last part there is that, unfortunately, you chalk it up to variance in sniper roles, where between Hanzos and Widows, one side can go on a spree, but basically they do hit the precipice of they only need a little bit more. They only need a little bit more in Eichenwald. They only need a little bit more here in Volskaya, but they just dropped off in performance at the worst possible time. And I don't like using the word choke, but I mean, to some degree, they were losing a bit of air, is all I'm saying.
I mean, part of it is that, yeah, they are getting it ripped from their grasp because of the GOAT composition coming out from the Legion. When things aren't working for them, when in doubt, GOATs it out, and has been working, has been paying off. They've been catching them off guard whenever they make that swap off. The tempo of it really does catch a lot of teams off guard.
Now I want that on a shirt. When in doubt, GOATs it out.
GOATs is dead, but they'll live on in our hearts and random compositions and contenders.
I love it. I love it. And so what do you think that we can see in the future? Like, maybe obviously not today, but for GGEA to finally grasp that win and keep it rather than having the rug pulled out from under them?
Well, for starters, I mean, it did work out better than expected today, I would say, but you can't rely on just having Hog in there instead of a second support all the time. I mean, look, Overwatch, it's not a exact science, but one of the more proven things is that Zenyatta is a pretty good hero, and if you're not going to be running Zenyatta at all, it's probably going to bite you sooner rather than later. So I don't know how long they can stay up with the, hey, let's just have Aid be the hero, because also teams are going to realize, just take down Aid.
Right. Well, next up, our map will be Gibraltar. What can we expect to see heading in?
So Gibraltar, I feel like this is still another one of those maps where they can open up, especially on attack with that solo support style, where they only rely upon that Mercy. Having the Ponzer on the Roadhog can work out for them again, so it does cover that kind of weakness if they don't want to play the secondary support. But again, you do leave yourself very vulnerable, and it allows gods to stay alive longer if you don't have the Zenyatta there with the Orb of Discords.
Yeah, and I would say going into this, I mean, it's going to be a Widow Winston show, and so far the combination is probably a little bit better in Legion side because of Corey.
All right, well, we will be going into this game, and it is 3-0. Let's see if maybe GG can pull something off.
I
don't believe you, Vol. I don't believe you.
We saw a Bastion today.
It can happen.
Yeah. When you need that miracle push, but it didn't work out earlier. I don't think it'd work out here either. Legion on the defense, they're not going to change anything up, really. You know, I do like the Brigitte here, especially on the first point hold, because she does offer a lot of control. Teams do try to contest for the high ground, and, well, if you jump into the Shield Maiden, you're going to take a lot of damage.
I'd also say, too, it offers a bit of core insurance, right, where it prevents the situation where maybe you put Fisher on a Genji or something and you end up with Corey getting pressured. Well, one of the better ways to alleviate pressure is a Brigitte being in the back. And yeah, Vol, we both know you're not going to play Bastion. Why even tempt us like that?
So already we're seeing Ponzer hovering over that over the Roadhog, and Fisher going over to the Brigitte themselves. So this is a very tank-heavy, very bulky lineup coming out from GGEA, but they can't really contest the high ground. Never mind, here come the swaps.
Okay, good. I was about to channel my inner Hex and be like, Zen's a good hero. Probably should play Zen. At least I can imagine Hex echoing in my ears here. But GGA, they're going to be playing Zen and going to something a little bit more traditional, and Legion more than willing to give them a bit of space.
Yeah, there's a reason why, you know, a Zen player is the front runner for MVP of the league right now in the Overwatch League. Jonak, he gets to show off how much damage he does, and we'll see if Ponzer can try and channel that himself.
All right, for now. Legion not really giving up much of the payload at this point. They're leaving gods down the contest GGA as the rest of GGA is trying to get through on the top, and oh, Keller had a golden opportunity to take down Corey there, unable to finish it. But GGA is ripping the high ground away from the Legion.
Yeah, they were able to apply pressure onto Blase. Brigittas in a lot of these compositions are really one of the focal points, should be one of the focal points of your dive, but they jump on up onto Panker, take him out of there, but Pooks will be able to res him back in.
And that's a real downside. You gotta make sure Panker stays down, but there was a high price paid. Blase and Gods essentially going to be out of the fight both. And even as Rolf tries to bring it back, Corey gets one. Gonna need a little bit more than that, and not yet. That's an angry Smurf in your face. It's not a great spot to be in, but Smurf actually gonna be taking a lot of damage. Wasn't able to isolate Corey in the middle of all that. And GGA, while they're in a good spot, they've let Corey back to the fight. He's picked off one, looking for a little bit more. Once more, Smurf in his face. Not sure if he's going to be able to get away this time, but that Mercy pocket is doing wonders as Smurf falls.
Yeah, we have even Vol trying to get in on that, but he's not able to get that extra damage out there. You've got all the armor, you've got all the heals coming out from both the Zenyatta, the Mercy, along with Fisher. He actually gave him some very important shields towards the latter end there. And so Legion holding on as GGEA are now down to 2 minutes to try and finish off this point here. We do have the Infrasight coming up from Keller along with the rally, so a lot of information, a lot of shield, but here's a self-destruct.
God's layering that one in, does a lot of damage to Smurf, but unable to finish a job. Corey was looking for the headshot to put the end of it. Oh, he had 8 in his sights, but couldn't get there. The Brigida in his face kind of put an end to that. But hey, who needs a Widow when you can have Rolf in the back? That is your second Widow of sorts, working pretty well. And the Legion buy themselves some room here, even though Keller is back in the fight.
Yeah, Keller is brought back into it, but it's Corey who does have the information. The Infrasight is out. Transcendence is used, but nothing is going to get gained from it as Ponzer, he has just lost it. Almost gets dove upon, but Panker actually steps on the shuttle.
Ponzer even going back to Oasis has some very weird Transcendences. It wasn't at a very good time at all. Legion now going to heal up courtesy of Rolf's Transcendence and bring things back the other way. Corey under a bit of assault here by Smurf, looking for a way to go on forward. And they're going to need to take out Smurf here because Panker is down. He fell on the opposite end. The Legion without a main tank right now. GGA starting to press forward the other side. And God says, have a happy 4th of July, belated, as Fisher falls. And that's enough time for the Legion here as GGA is starting to struggle on this attack.
That was great. That was just a Hail Mary self-destruct coming up from Gods, trying to delay longer for Panker to even get back because the respawn distance is so short for the defense. But getting a kill off of it, that's even icing on the cake. And so with another rally coming out from the Legion, GGEA just back off.
And GGA, they don't really have much. Oh, that's a big stagger. They got 8 as well. Now there's only 23 seconds left, and GGA is going to have to scramble.
Panker, he's going to have that primal rage, and so he's not going to make it easy for GGEA to get in on this. Rally will be popped by, of course, Fisher, but now they have to make a mad dash for the point now. 3 tanks on it, but Gladiators, Legion, they have the primal rage. Panker, when will you pop it?
Oh, when Panker pops it, usually someone's getting stuck in a corner. That's kind of the Panker side. Panker opens up with the primal rage. Transcend out early from GGA, but it's going to be a later response by Rolf. Even better for the Legion right now. Transcend's down for one side, but Vol got Corey. The threat is gone, but for how long is the res going to come up here? It is. Pooks makes the res happen. Corey back in the fight with good positioning to boot, and it's going to be the Legion on the ground and pound, pushing GGEA back. Corey with a little bit of finish, and overtime ticking down here as GGA fails to get through first.
And if you take a look at the health bars of Legion, you can just see how well that triple support composition worked out for them. Being able to keep your Brigitte alive is one of the crucial parts of running the Brigitte in the comp because she is very vulnerable. But once she's able to get the rally off, once she gets herself up to 350 HP, then of course has the pocket of the Mercy, of the Zenyatta, she becomes such a force to be reckoned with. And so now, Legion, all they have to do is just push it to just shy of the first checkpoint. They'll walk away with a clean 4-0 victory.
By the way, in terms of calling out people for good plays and staying alive, Pooks really deserves the medic honor there, where he was just able to keep Corey alive under ridiculous amounts of pressure, where he had a Winston in his face for what felt like 3/4 of the map, but if you don't deal with the Mercy's going to keep the Widow up, and you're going to need a little bit more help than that.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. Smurf was trying his best. He was in the back line. He was disrupting Corey, but anytime Smurf had to back away for heals, that's the window Corey he needed to find a great frag for his team, and consistently shutting down GGEA. And so now, off the back of some great Widowmaker play again this week coming out from Corey, Legion are on the cusp of taking a 4-0 victory up against our runners-up from Season 1.
And more than anything else, I mean, forget where GGA eventually placed, just the fact that GGA denied Legion the final attempt to get to Poland, where they were all set, they were on the front runners, and GGA ended up pulling it right back against them. So, we we will see how this ends up here. The Legion, of course, don't have to go too far, but we have seen first point holds getting matched with first point holds, so there is a chance for GGA, however slim.
It's definitely not unheard of, especially here on Gibraltar. I think this is one of the better maps for a first point hold. Now we're just going to have a dive coming out from Legion. Blase going over to Genji. Corey, of course, you know, he's on a hot streak. He's going to stick with that Widowmaker. Pinker takes the sky. He takes a headshot for his efforts. Blase is going to go ahead and swap off, though.
Blase says, you know what, I'm feeling more like a rat today, so goes to Junkrat and going to be looking to take advantage of GGA if they're a little bit clumped up on the inside.
Look at all the free space that Gladiators are getting. They're almost through the car wash right now. No one's contesting them, and so that's going to leave GGEA with almost no window.
GGA is going for perfection here in the final point, which is to say that they have a margin of error of 0. If they lose one fight, that is going to be it. But the upside here is that they don't have the risk of having bad positioning from a bad early fight. They're contesting the high ground pretty aggressively here, but Legion is working on edge as they go there. And Corey being cheeky right now, going to the underside, looking for the pick off of his counterpart, misses 2 shots, and the opportunity is gone.
It's a tug of war up top, and finally Corey draws the tanks down as the payload continues to slowly inch forward. There's almost no margin of error whatsoever at this point. A team fight win for Gladiators means it's going to be the 4-0 here. GG Esports, they want to try and keep this alive, but God takes out Fisher.
A common story, Fisher picked off first on the Brigida. Blase, though, down and turned, but the problem is I think Blase's more as well. Keller on the other side, finishes off Corey, can't res both. And GGEA has shocked Legion a little bit more here. They're going to demech Gods, and that's the end of the push.
Gods, he knows that he doesn't have much time, so he's going to go ahead and instantly just reset himself, throw himself off the edge. So now the Legion, though, this is what they're fighting for. They've got 5 ultimates online. They've also got the Infrasight running right now, so they know the positioning of GGEA. This is just the ultimate ult-apocalypse coming out from them, where they just want to finish them off in one fell stroke.
Fisher got picked off there again, but Aid was there with the res, so it's not quite fight-defining yet. The Legion, though, to your point, they are loaded on ults right now. They're going to invest a lot, but if it fails, it might be the end of them. Oh, and Corey goes.
Yeah, with Corey going on down, that's going to be the rally coming up from Fisher. Blase is going to try his best with this Rip Tire, and he is able to cover a lot of ground without taking any damage on this tire. Makes it into the back and gets the Mercy.
And with Aid down, it's up to Pones to be the only source of healing here. Never a great position, regardless of who you are. He opens up with the Transcendence, but the Legion, now the big advantage, making more space with the self-destruct. It's going to be Vol getting demeched in a hurry. Vol immediately out of it, and GGEA falling one by one, and this is more of a whimper right now as the Legion easily push on through this last fight, and they take Gibraltar for the clean 4-0.
Well, they certainly tried their best. They did, I think.
You know, we don't know that for sure. For all we know, they were just slacking off and just barely looking. They were watching seasons of My Hero Academia while playing. I mean, we don't know the true story.
I would be doing that too. It's a good show, huh?
I mean, honestly, it looked like they just were disconnected on almost every line there. Smurf was trying his best. If they had added another component of dive, if they had gone over to a Genji to try and supplement the damage, it might have made a difference, especially with dislodging Corey from his high ground. But continually, we got to see him actually run away with almost 5, 10 HP when generally he should have been dead.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, Corey was the problem here, both in actuality and in theory, where I would say not only was he getting a lot of good shots off, but it was clearly a priority of GGA to take down Corey by investing Smurf there. So if you're going to be investing your Winston player, taking down a Widowmaker, and then you never take down the Widowmaker, well, guess what? You're probably not going to be able to get through in the points. So even if they didn't change up compositions, they probably should have changed up trying to go for Corey as hard as they were.
Right, but do you think at a certain point it just gets disheartening and it's just hard to play the game?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, especially after what happened on Volskaya. Volskaya should have been a one map for them, especially with how things were going on their point A defense and how hard they were shutting down the Gladiators. The performance that Corey was having throughout the series was the performance that Keller was having on their initial point A defense, and then after that, he just kind of looked shook.
Also, in fairness to GGA, they did come pretty close to getting Ike involved as well. Like, there is an alternate universe where we're going to map 5 right now, where Legion would have taken map 1 and map 4, and then GGA would have taken 2 and 3, but it didn't quite work out that way, and they did just kind of fall off in the maps that were winnable at the very end.
All right. And as GGA goes home and works on things and practices, what do you think they really need to focus on when it comes to their practices?
Well, I would say definitely Ponzer didn't seem anywhere near as comfortable in Zen as he was on Roadhog, where whether it be on Oasis or Gibraltar, we saw moments where the transcendences were very questionable.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know what's going on with their roster, like why Gray's in here, if he's sick or something else is going on, but I also think they did feel Gray's departure here pretty harshly, much as they've been feeling the absence of Sharp in the same way, right? Where they're missing players that have generally been integral to this roster, and it's a weird look compared to what we were used to from last season.
Yeah, those are two key components of the GGEA squad, and especially going up against a team like the Gladiators Legion, who haven't changed up their roster at all and have been able to just slowly improve with this core 6. It's a tough task, especially bringing in these subs. And so GGEA, I'm not entirely too sure what your best look is, but one of it involves Sharp, and the other one probably involves Grace. So try to bring them back.
Right. Well, Gladiators Legion just took that series 4-2-0, and we're going to take a quick break. But right when we come back, we will be seeing Fusion University going up against last night's leftovers.